This is the Sunseeker Manhattan 68. It costs, in the spec we tested it in, £2.84 million including VAT, and for that you get 4 cabins, 3 bathrooms, enough deck space to lose track of your guests in, and a water level beach club, the envy of many rivals in the sector. But more of that later. The thing is with Sunseeker, even when it builds a 70-foot, 40-ton luxury flybridge, there is an expectation that performance and handling will surpass the competition. Is that the case from the helm of the Manhattan 68? Let's find out.
Now it may be only 5 degrees here in Poole in December, but that's not going to stop me from driving up here on the flybridge, because really that's why you buy a boat like this, so that you can drive up here, given you may want to be doing it in better conditions than this, but that's when you can really feel the driving experience aboard this boat, and it is really good. Now you can have 2 shaft drive engine options, 1000 horsepower or 1200 horsepower, both from MAN. This boat's got the 1200 horsepower option, or you can have Volvo Penta IPS 1350, though Sunseeker hasn't actually built a boat with that option yet, and that maybe tells a story in itself about what the type of client who buys this boat is looking for. It's got a V-drive shaft setup, and the reward is a fantastic handling experience. For a boat that is 70 foot long, 40 tons there or thereabouts, it reacts so nicely from the helm. It's far more agile than you might suspect when you first look at it, and you've got mountains of power on tap from those big V8 1200 horsepower engines. Top speed today, we've hit around 34 knots with a pretty light load. There's no cruising gear on board this boat, but we have got 100% fuel, about 60% of the water tank. In terms of range, at a cruising speed of around 25 knots, you're looking at around 280 miles, and if you take it back to about 9-10 knots, you're looking more in the region of 800 nautical miles. So a decent long range there if you do want to slow it down a bit. But the thing that really stands out for me is just how enjoyable this thing is to drive, given its size and its specification. What about the driving environment? Well, it's pretty good. I like how close you are to everything. There's full adjustment on this seat. It's got a flip up bolster section. It also slides fore and aft. So look, I can get nice and close to this wheel. I've got the throttles right under my hand here, and the wheel's adjustable as well, so you can change the angle of that. If you're bolstering the seat, you may want to have it a bit further forward, but I like having it right down here, nice and close to me. And the key thing Sunseeker has done is they've included these buttons around the central hub, and these actually control the chart plotters. So yes, these are fully touchscreen, so you can lean forward and interact with them if you want, but equally you've got full control under your thumbs as well, so you never have to take your hands off the wheel. Notice as well, you've got this sliding wind deflector as well, so you can pull that up if you want a bit more protection from the wind, because of course the main windscreen is quite a long way away. I've had one complaint, is the fact that Sunseeker used trim tab buttons here, but there's no gauge, so it's very hard to tell where in their travel the trim tabs are. Personally, I like to see an actual gauge on there so you can see where they are, how far down they are, for example. But everything else is nice and clear and concise. You've got some hard buttons here because there are no physical dials, it's all digital in these twin MFDs, and I like the fact that you've got this scan strap, phone holder and charger built in to the dash here. Now down here at the low helm, obviously a lot warmer, but you also get more connectivity as well. You still get the phone holder and charger here, but you also get a connector for an iPad, so that if you want to use an Navionics app, for example, you can have that right here under your hand. But again, you have twin MFDs which you can configure to display as you wish. You also have the CMake system where you have full control of the boat systems, all from this one screen here as well. So again, that's all under your fingertips. And another nice thing is, of course, you can sit at this lovely double bench with someone keeping you company, but there's enough headroom that you can stand at this helm as well, which is a really nice position. Good headroom, and also a nice deep windscreen, so you don't lose the view when you stand up either. Of course, you've got the side door here as well, so it is easier to communicate with crew, and it means the skipper can quickly get out onto deck if they're needed. Now, all flybridges of this size have an amazing amount of glass in their saloon these days, but what's nice about the Manhattan is how far forward the glass goes here at the helm. So yes, you have quite a big mullion here, but because the glass goes such a long way forward and drops down, you have a great view past it as well. You have a good connection to the water as well. You can see over the bulwark, you can see the water because these screens go such a long way down. It's the same on the other side as well. And because the galley is right aft and it hasn't got towering units, you've got a good view aft too. There are very few blind spots if you're looking aft from this lower helm position, which isn't always the case on fly bridges of this size. Now at the helm itself, there isn't actually an enormous amount of space to stow loose items. You can chuck a VHF in one of the two cup holders, but you know, mugs, phones, other loose items, not really anywhere to put them here. However, on the other side, there's two deep lockers and some trays as well, so you can at least put stuff over there, but they could maybe do with working a bit more storage in here for loose items over on this side. Now most new models from Sunseeker at the moment are doing something interesting here at the transom. There's a big focus on the beach club vibe, and it's no different here on the Manhattan 68. So as you can see, this big door swings up. It's really nicely flow coated, nicely finished this area. You've got a couple of lights here, you've got a shower above your head as well, but I like the fact that they've also included a deck shower, so you don't have to lift that up every time you want to have a wash off after a swim. And you've got this great area here where you can fill it with whatever you want really, but as you can see, they've got the bottles here for scuba, you've got your flippers, towels, masks, fenders. You can just fill it with your water sports kit, and it's right here at water level. Of course, you've also got a hydraulic bathing platform here, so you can drop that down into the water. And underneath this little hatch here, you have dedicated storage for 2 sea bobs, and underneath this bench there's even some charging points, so you don't have to take them into the boat to charge them. And this hatch here, well, this is your crew cabin. So there's access to the cockpit up both sides of the transom. Incidentally, this is the side where the passerelle comes out if you have that option. Controls for it here. Letterbox style passerelle will extend out so you can reach the quayside if you berth stern to. And then you're here into the cockpit and you notice this really nice substantial overhang we've got here. Nice strip lighting. They've not just got sort of bare plastic up here, you've got a bit of material up here as well. And the fact that these stairs double up as a really nice thing to hold on to as you move into the cockpit. Because you have access both sides, you have this nice wrap of seating here with a big substantial teak table. I like the fact you've got a little sink here as well. If you're handling dirty ground lines, then you can just wash your hands off in there. Quite a convenient place to have it. The other thing about, say, handling in the Mediterranean is, as an option, you can have a set of throttles here. It's not got it on this boat, but you could have throttles, joystick here, so that if you're going stern to, you're in a better position to do so. And one final thing about the mooring gear I quite like, not only is it nice and substantial, and you've got 2-way fair leads and a winch, but you've also got a proper dedicated little locker for the rope tails to go into. It's an easy boat to move around on, the Manhattan 68. The side decks are in a good size, means you can walk down 1 foot in front of the other. You've got nice tall guardrails all the way along as well, so you feel safe and secure as you move about. When you get to the foredeck, yes, it looks good because it's got the big sun pad and the Portuguese bridge and seating here, which has got a canopy as well, so you can get a bit of shade. But there's practical stuff as well, like the fact that on both sides of the deck you've got rope lockers. Perfect size just to stick some ropes in for the bow lines, grab them out again nice and easy. And because you've got this walk-through deck, it means that you can get from deck to deck really easily. And I like the fact that this seating isn't too low either. Table's a good height as well, so you might actually come and sit up here of an evening, and you can flip down the backrest as well so that it doesn't block the view looking forward. Point about these sun pads as well, they have lift-up backrests so that you can sit at a bit more of a comfortable angle when the boat's not moving along. On to the flybridge then, and I don't know about anybody else, but these sort of styling flares at the aft end of the flybridge, these fins really remind me of a Cadillac Coupe de Ville. No bad thing, you might say. Now this flybridge doesn't feel quite as big as maybe the Pearl 62 or the Princess F70, but they've used the space intelligently, and this one's completely open at the aft end. You can have fixed furniture if you want. You could also put freestanding sunbeds in here. This particular owner's left it open for now, so it feels a little bit sparse. But forward here you've got wet bar with everything you'd want to have, grill, sink, you've got an ice maker, you've got a fridge. You can have a table here if you want, but again this owner's just left it a sort of open lounging space. And then what is quite nice is you've got big sun pad forward, and I like these seats in front of the helm. They've incorporated a backrest into the forward end of the helm station. That works quite nicely, and it's a really good helm station as well. 2 comfortable bucket seats that are fully adjustable. Really nice place to drive the boat from. And then of course there's the hardtop, finished in black on this one, and you also have a canvas sunroof inset, which just gives it that bit more versatility. Now, on the likes of the Absolute Navetta 68, for example, you have direct access from the crew cabin into the engine room. Not the case here on the Sunseeker, but you have got this hatch here in the cockpit floor. Nice size, quite easy to get down to, and you've got a ladder as well, so you can just drop down straight between the engines. And although it's not the most spacious engine room in the class, it's still got impressive amounts of headroom for a boat of this size. I can stand fully up down here, just about. And then you've got these monstrous V8 1200 horsepower MANs. Pretty easy to get round both sides of the space over there. And you've got the generator over on the far side. The insulation in general is squeaky clean, and there is lashings of insulation in here, hence why it's such a quiet boat at the inside helm. Onto the inside then, and one of the changes between this boat and the Manhattan 66, which it replaces, is that the separate access down to the master cabin used to be in this area, but now it's here amidships, and that means you get a more spacious galley. You've got this little bar area here which actually quite conveniently holds the boat's glassware. There's a wine fridge in here, and it's opposite the table as well, so you can easily serve people who are sitting in at the dinette. Of course, you've got full domestic size fridge freezer over on this side. You've got 4-burner induction hob and cooker, and then you've got a dishwasher as well, twin sink, and there's a good amount of storage dotted around this galley as well. I really like the lighting inside this boat. This theme, this sort of star theme, runs throughout downstairs as well, and it looks really, really good. Nice sort of eye-catching design. And it is a nice design in here. It's quite sort of laid back, relaxed, not too flashy, and it works really nicely. It just looks very comfortable and very usable, and this is a really sort of homely, nice area. Opposite this huge TV, it doesn't go down into a cabinet like it does on some other boats. They want it in place because it sort of helps hide the stairway. But one nice touch is if you're sat here, you can see through this glass panel underneath the TV unit, and you can see water through the hull window down there. Quite a nice little design touch. And I really like this spot as well. Here under the windscreen, because these windows drop down so low, you've got a fabulous view out over the water. It's be a really nice place to chill out. And of course the accommodation is split. The master cabin down there we'll look at in a second, but first let's check out the guest accommodation. So this is one of 2 identical twin cabins aboard the Manhattan 68. This is the port side one. It's exactly the same as the one on the starboard side, which means you get these 2 good sized twin berths. As you can see, I've got plenty of headroom even between the berths, and actually even though there's a step up here, headroom rockets up as well. So it is full standing headroom in here. You've got nice touches like sockets here by the bed, you've got reading lights, and the detailing is really good as well. You've got speakers in here, nice spotlights, and storage is pretty good as well because you've got a big wardrobe here with a mirror in as well. This one isn't as close to the bathroom as the one on the starboard side, but it's just across the hallway. Now this no doubt is the cabin that guests will be fighting over, the VIP here in the bow. It's a really nice size, this cabin. You've got lovely detailing like this shelving here with stainless steel fiddles on it, and that's a good point. For all the lovely finish that you have in a Sunseeker, there's good sensible boat building as well, like the fact that in the cupboards at eye level here, they're on proper locking catches, and you've got fiddle edges. So even if you're in a rough sea, things aren't going to come flying out. It's always nice to see, but there's plenty of flair. There's also plenty of storage. Big cupboard down here, as I said, you've got dotted eye level lockers all the way around. You've got some more shelving on this side, and of course this bathroom has its own ensuite too. The nice thing about this layout is that the guests are all tucked up forward in their own little area, but the owner has their own private access from the saloon down into the master cabin. And what a nice, calming, quiet cabin this is. It's really nicely finished. There's great attention to detail in the use of colours and textures and materials down here. Headroom, plenty good enough. You know, I'm 6 foot here and I've got loads of space above my head. The floor is flat. There's no obstructions that you're going to trip over on your way to the ensuite bathroom in the middle of the night. Now this area, there's a few options. This has got the breakfast diner area, which is quite a nice solution. You can have a chaise longue, you can have a bit more storage with a sort of desk at one end, so different options there depending on what you want. But on that side you get loads and loads of drawer storage, really useful. And there's also a big twin hanging locker over there as well, and a little hidden locker here as well, a bit more hanging storage. Can't really have enough of that on board a boat of this size, so that's quite a neat little solution. And just look at the size of that TV, nice opposite the bed. And again, they've gone to work to make sure that the area around it is quite interesting, not just boring bit of material. It's really nicely styled and incorporated into the cabin. Thank you very much for watching our review of the Sunseeker Manhattan 68. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and hit subscribe and the bell icon so you're notified every time we upload a new video. I'll see you on the next one.